Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you will learn to live freely and lightly. What an amazing text it is this morning, this great invitation that Jesus offers in the context of the book of Matthew. Now again, looking briefly at the overview of the book of Matthew, we know that the Gospel of Matthew is written primarily to a Jewish audience, and you can pick this up, for instance, in chapter 1 and verses 1 following, that has the genealogy of the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, the Jewish people were very interested to know your family background. You can't just rock up on the scene. They want to know who is your family. And so if you come from small towns like East London, they'll want to know who is your father and your uncle and your grandfather and where does they come from. And so it is true, even in colonial settings, we like to know our family tree, who comes from where as such. And so Jesus is established as the Son of God, the Son of Man, through his genealogy in the Gospel of Matthew, which is an important consideration to a Jewish audience over here. And of course the Jewish people were bearing incredible burdens during the time of Christ and his coming. And so his invitation is an incredible invitation, signaling again the fact that he is greater than and bigger than, and that he is God himself who can bear the burdens of all people. And so this is an incredible passage of Scripture. But verses 25 to 26 reflects the paradox of the kingdom revelation. It reflects the sense in which who God reveals himself to, and it's not who we would like him to, or who we think. Verse 27 focuses intently on the Son, and then 28 to 30 focuses on this great invitation that Jesus gives to us over here. Now, who did Jesus reveal himself to? The wise, the wealthy, the rulers of the day and age? No, he didn't. He revealed himself, as it were, and gave truth in terms that only little children can enter into the kingdom of God. And so God, in many senses, favors the weak and not the arrogant. God favors those who are lowly and humble, not those who are full of pride and buff themselves up. You see, before the Lord of heaven and earth, human wisdom and power are absolutely nothing. The wise in Jesus' day made rules and regulations to follow, which they did very carefully and closely, but God was not pleased with their rules. God was not pleased with their outward display of religiosity when their hearts were far from God. You see, they would stand on street corners and pray with great audacity and outward veracity, but their hearts were nowhere near God. In fact, if you look at their hearts, you see their hearts were dark and cold. Jesus, in fact, even called them whitewashed tombs. They were like zombies, the dead walking among the living. Nothing inside their hearts. But God reveals his kingdom to children. To understand mysteries which are far beyond even us adults to understand. That's this paradox of the kingdom of God as such. And so we see over here that intellectual and spiritual pride often defy fear of God. We make up our own minds and lives rather than God, the judge and final arbiter of all things. We see over here in verse 27 again, there's a contrast over here between the wise and the learned and children. And Jesus and his identity was a stumbling block, and still is a stumbling block to many people today. And so wherever you come from, whatever religion or worldview you have, at some point you've got to deal with Jesus. Who is Jesus to you? The Muslims claim he was a great teacher, but he was not the Messiah. Jehovah's Witnesses will claim that he was a great teacher, he was a wonderful man, but that he was not God. He was elevated to become God, eventually. There's so many different competing ideas out there of who Jesus is, but again, where do we understand and come to knowledge of him apart from what he's revealed to us in his word? And we know that his word is reliable and true, and so we can turn to his word and understand who he is in his word. And so the identity of Jesus is still a stumbling block to so many people today. The very invitation of Jesus, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, is an incredible testimony to who Jesus himself is. He is God. You see, only God can be the one to call on all people to bring their burdens to them. In fact, there is no other religion in the world whose God or Savior claims to carry the burdens of people or invites people to bring their burdens to them. Jesus is different. in so many ways. What a great invitation over here. The reality is, as I look around at the lives of people in this church and in other churches as well, and look at my own life, I realize that many of us are busy and we're out of it. We're out of shape physically. Can I say that myself? Very much so, especially after a holiday. We're out of sorts emotionally. We're not connecting emotionally with God. We're cold and very often just don't relate to Him. We're out of touch relationally. We live isolated lives. We are a little island out there in many senses, and we're out of order spiritually. And if you look at our nation, we're a nation that has become out of shape, out of order, and have turned away from God in so many ways and in so many senses. We're a nation that's burdened before God, and we're a people that is in desperate need of God. One of the great things I think that has come out of this last month, if anything, has been people's need and dependence on God. You see, friends, we can't control things. And it's often out of hardship and suffering, as Terry mentioned this last weekend, that we are strengthened and brought again to the fact that we are not gods, we are not masters of our own destiny, we're just human and frail and dependent upon God for absolutely everything. When we go on holiday, I often feel we take too much. This next picture reflects some of what I think my wife packs when we go on holiday. I don't know if you feel the same way, but we take everything with us. Everything is packed into the trailer. And we took all kinds of things. Do you know what I took? 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of jeans, 3 t-shirts, a pair of tackies, and a pair of slops. My stuff fit into a tiny little bag like that, and our car was full, and our trailer was full, and I wondered why God had done this. But the beauty of that is, if you go with a full car with stuff you already have, it means you don't come back with any new stuff that you have to unpack when you get home. So praise God for that. But my car was burdened, which is a good thing probably, because it meant that I could keep to the speed limits as we drove around, because we couldn't go very fast as such. But I think this reflects some of our lives, doesn't it? Now, we're all here this morning, and we're looking good. Some of us have put gel in our hair, some of us have really gone to great lengths with lipstick and makeup and base. And I'm not referring to the men over here, the ladies, who look absolutely beautiful. And when we greet each other, we do so in such a great way. But the problem is, what is happening in our lives? What's happening in our hearts? What's happening below the surface of this exterior that we put on in front of people? What burdens are you carrying? You see, you've come to church this morning, and perhaps some of you are carrying deep burdens, heavy burdens that you might have been carrying for days, weeks, months, and even years. Something that just you can't get rid of, you can't just release. It's been something that's weighed down heavily upon your shoulders to the extent that you can't move forward, you can't move on, you can't do anything because it's weighing heavily upon you. See, the truth is, burdens overload us, just like this car is overloaded. Burdens overload us. You're burdened sometimes by unrepentance in our own lives, where we know that we've missed the mark, we know that we've done wrong, but we're not willing to actually say, I was wrong, God, forgive me. What I've discovered is it's so hard for people, and particularly for believers, to say, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I can't tell you how many times I've found myself in that position where I also, I really don't want to. I don't want to be wrong. But I am wrong. I don't want to go to this person and say sorry because I don't like this person. I don't want to be that guy. We have unrepentant hearts. How many of you are living with issues in your life that have burdened you, but you're not willing to admit before God or anyone that you're wrong? And this is just overwhelming you. And every time you come across a Christian, a pastor in the parking lot or in the church, or you come to church on a Sunday, you just feel a sense of guilt. Lord, if I come to this place, I just feel like this. But at the end of the day, it's an unrepentant heart. Some of us are burdened by religiosity. We have thought for so long that we've got to please God by the things that we do, and so we've got to obey and be perfect in all things. And we neglect the fact that the Bible says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All of us are sinners. From the greatest to the least, the oldest to the youngest, we're all sinners. And And God is not interested in our perfection. God is interested in what Jesus did on the cross for us. But we're burdened by the sense of I've got to do and I've got to do and I've got to do to win the favor of God. When God, through the cross of Jesus Christ, has already given you favor with God. You can't earn salvation. It's a personal decision in the Lord Jesus Christ. Some of us are burdened by life. I mean, life is hard. Life is difficult. None of us have the perfect life. None of us have the perfect kids, although I must say mine come very close to not being at all perfect. You drive for 3,000 kilometers in the car and you know your kids are not perfect at all. Okay, especially for you girls. Pray for me, please. I'm burdened by this wonderful gift. Burdened by life. Life is not fair sometimes. We heard a testimony of a family recently whose husband was retrenched. And we can often have these, Lord, why? And if you haven't yet said, Lord, why? I'm not sure that you're going to live much longer without saying that, because there's so many things in life you say, Lord, but why couldn't it just be like this? Or why could you not have just done that? Or why could I not have left just 5 minutes before so that that person doesn't get into the back of me? You bumped the back of the front of his wife's car, someone went into the back. Lord, why? Why do I don't need this right now in my life? Why, God? Some of us are burdened with illnesses. Realize as we look at our lives, we can be overloaded with burdens, overloaded with care. And the reality is simply this. We are who we are, and God is who He is. We are weak, we are finite. We can't be God because we are not God. God is God. He is all-powerful and all-sovereign, and we are simply just human beings who live in a sinful and a broken world and who desperately need God in every area of our life. And so if you feel overwhelmed and burdened, I say welcome to the human race. And welcome to church this morning, because you're in a great position to receive grace and strength and renewal from God this morning. Some of us are burdened and distracted in many things. And there's some things, friends, that need to be shared. Toothbrushes, never to be shared. Donuts are never to be shared, ever, by people. Coffee, maybe. Burdens are those that have to be shared. And this invitation of Jesus is one that says, come to me. Come to me. But we have to realize that not only are we to share our burdens with God, that we're to share our burdens with one another, the Bible says. We're to confess our sin to one another. Now that sits uncomfortably with a lot of people, because we know that it's difficult to find the right people to share with, and you don't want to be the person who's always going and complaining about your life to other people. But God has gifted the body of Christ to us, so that we don't have to live our lives in isolation, alone, without absolute hope. On Tuesday, I'm doing a memorial service for a young man my age who committed suicide tragically in front of his mother just before Good Friday. His sister in the UK committed suicide in January. Drank a bottle of gin and just stripped herself naked and went outside in the UK winter and froze to death outside. Tragic. Absolutely tragic, but lost and without hope. Has no one to speak to. Isolated and insulated from people. And the body of Christ is the greatest gift to the world. We don't live as little islands here and there. The church is the community of God, meant for the purposes of encouragement, hope, and healing. The local church is not just a building, it is the hope of the world. It's a hospital for those who are sick. It's a place of healing and restoration, not a place of judgment and condemnation. I remember as a kid something I will never ever forget at Florida Baptist Church. I don't even know how old I was, 7 or 8, 9 years of age. I stood in the foyer of the church where the old pastor at that stage said to a woman who came or dared come with slacks and makeup, please turn away, go home, change into a dress, and take the makeup off your face, and then you're welcome to come back to church. I never forgot that as a kid. And I thought, I wonder how we do that in our own lives. And that's up to you to judge. Some things have to be shared. Exodus 18. Moses' father-in-law replied, What you are doing is not good. You and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. So Moses listened to his advice and appointed men to carry this leadership burden here with him. Galatians 6 and verse 2 says this carefully, which is an instruction for us to obey. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. And so some things are to be shared, and our burdens are to be shared. So don't think you've come here this morning and your marriage is on the rocks and you've got to carry this on your own and you've got to suffer and be a martyr for your marriage. Not at all. You've got to come forward and ask for prayer and with discernment draw people alongside of you and say, I need help. We're not doing well. Don't be ashamed. Be authentic before people. Be authentic before God. You can't fool Him. He knows what's in your heart. He knows what happens when you're driving in the car when no one's watching. He knows what's happening behind closed doors at home. You can't hide from Him. Share your burdens with one another. Share your burdens with one another, and in so doing, if you obey the scriptures that I've just read over here, but some things also have to be stopped. Some things have to be shared, others have to be stopped. And never forget in Luke chapter 10, we see this wonderful exchange between Mary and Martha over here. And Jesus replies in verse 41 and 42, Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. There's some things that, friends, we've got to stop in our lives. We've got to put a stop to. And that might even be an involvement in ministry that is burdening you and burdening your family, and it's removing you from being what God has called you to be in your family as such. It might be the business of life. It might be the career trajectory that you're on. We're so concerned with wealth and with advancement that our families are suffering in today's society. Martha, Martha, only one thing is needed. Be at the feet of Jesus. Be at the feet of Jesus. What in your life do you need to stop? If you're overburdened, you can't handle it. We read in the Psalms, it says, be still, Psalm 46 and verse 10, and know that I am God. What can you remove to experience that stillness? But at the end of the day, everything needs to be surrendered. Psalm 62 and verse 1 says, my soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. Psalm 55 and verse 22, one we know so well, cast your cares on the Lord and He will sustain you. Everything in our life has to be surrendered to God. Everything in our lives has to be surrendered to God. You might say, well, God doesn't understand how I'm feeling. When Jesus wrote this, He didn't understand what was going to happen in 2,000 years. Jesus doesn't understand my life. He doesn't understand the times. Christians often accused of being irrelevant for their times. Bible bashers. People who don't understand what is happening in real life. But this invitation that Jesus has given was made at a time when three things were happening in the life of this nation of Israel. Number one, it was a time of great political unrest. The Roman Empire had expanded vastly and covered a huge part of the then known world, but it was a temperamental empire. There were riots that would spring up from time to time, and even within the nation of Israel, there was a whole subset of people who were known as the Zealots, who wanted to overthrow the Roman Empire. And so even the disciples often missed the point when Jesus said, my kingdom is coming, and they thought, Lord, when is it going to come? Because they wanted to take up arms and fight these ghastly Romans and cast them out of their land and return to the glory of being a nation under a king and under God. But Jesus says, my kingdom is not of this world. It's not going to happen your way. It's going to happen my way. There's great political unrest. And in fact, Pilate gave in to the crucifixion of Jesus because he was fearful of what the Jewish people would stir up in Jerusalem if he didn't let Jesus be crucified. Even his offer of Barabbas was one to appease the people. Choose anyone. I mean, surely they won't choose a criminal to be released over this guy who just claims to be God and who's performed miracles. Yet they were willing to crucify Jesus for a criminal of sorts. Secondly, it was also a time of moral collapse. And if you read the letters that Paul wrote to some of the churches, you realize that the early church was by no means a perfect church. There was financial fraud happening. There were sexual issues happening in the life of the church. People were dealing with, how do I live out my faith? The society was morally corrupt back then. It was also an age of social unrest. Interesting, in the Roman Empire, there were many suicides that happened, even at that time, because of absolute despair. But the people of Galilee, to whom Jesus addressed this particular section of Scripture, had suffered the most. The Jewish people in that area was almost known as the breadbasket, if you like, of Israel. It provided a wealth of resources which Rome needed to survive and thrive in their days. The people of Galilee were a conquered people. They paid heavy taxes that were imposed upon them. They worked harder and harder and harder to make ends meet. And so they suffered in many, many senses as well. And so if you look at the context of this verse, it's easy to translate that into our own context. We live in an era of political unrest. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. I get frustrated. I work in education, and I get hugely frustrated when the Minister of Education just on his own announces something. And then it takes you weeks, months, and years to catch up to what he said. Things change all the time. Provin was in, now Provin is out. And that's how it is in the world that we live in. There's huge unrest that's going to happen. This unrest doesn't affect God. It doesn't dethrone Him. We see that many of us are prisoners in many senses of our own making, of our own bad decisions. There's moral failure in our own society, and it's hard to make ends meet in many ways. Many of us pay heavy taxes. This is not unlike what it was in biblical times. And so if God was the God then, who cared and loved and saw to His people's needs, how much more for us today will He do the same? How much more does this invitation of Jesus apply to us? You see, I love Jesus. He's such an incredible, incredible person. His invitation is so simple. It's just come. It doesn't say, stop, fix up your life, sort these things out, and then come to me. That's what I would do as a human. My daughters come to me bickering, stop, go and sort that out, and when you've done that, then you can come to me. That's what I do. I don't want to tolerate that. No. Jesus says, come to me first. When we were selling our townhouse, we had the dreaded show house, where you find a cupboard or a room, and you throw everything that's junk into that room, and you pray that no one opens the door, and the stuff doesn't all fall out. The show house. Many of us live our lives like it's a show house. And when we come to church, tidy things up, I never forget we did a pastoral visit once in Cosmo City when I was pastoring a church in Four Ways, and we went to this family, we knocked on the door, and I heard the mom say, "Mfundisi, and they had this hole, and I heard bottles clanging, and all sorts of things, and they said, just a minute, and the windows I heard opening at the back, and there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and walked in, and they're all smiling, welcome, come inside. And I just looked behind the couch where I was sitting, and there were beer bottles and whiskey and all sorts of things over there, but they had to have the show house because the pastor has an unexpected business. I wonder if Jesus visited your home today, what would you find? What would He find if He peered into your heart, to the recesses of your mind? See, His invitation is not a call to fix up your life, it's a call to come. Because you can't fix up your life without Him. Because you can't do it without Him. Come. Not work harder. Don't work harder and try more and give more. Don't just obey the rules. It's come. This is an invitation with an incredible promise. Now, many of you love the promises of God in Scripture as I do, but I want to remind you that most of those promises in Scripture are conditional. Psalm 91 is a good example. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High God will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. You see, our resting in the shadow of the Almighty is conditional upon us dwelling in the shelter of the Most High God. See, most of us want the promises of God in our life without actually putting a trust in God Himself. We want the benefits without the relationship. And it doesn't work like that with God at all. There's a couple of closing thoughts before we close in prayer this morning. This invitation is a personal invitation to each and every one of us. It's personal over here to you. You, Dean. You, Hugh, you, Ron, Dion, Linda, Bev, Zilla, Desmond, you come to me. You see, faith in Jesus Christ is not dependent on our grandmother's faith or on our family's faith. It is a personal decision. You come to me. Come to me. Not only is it personal, but it's used in the present tense. It's now. As soon as possible. Don't delay. Don't prioritize other things. Don't make your own plan, your own way. You come now. Namhlanje. Vandag. No. I love that Afrikaans saying. No gaan ons praat. Hey Andrew. No gaan ons praat. Right now. We're gonna do it. That's the enthusiasm behind this invitation. Come, you, right now. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7, it says, come to me, he says, cast your anxieties on me. I care for you. I care for you. Cast your anxieties on me. Proverbs 3 and verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart, do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. It's also potent. Notice my alliteration. I worked very hard at this. It is potent over here. Potent in the sense that it's powerful, it's audacious, and it is not just momentarily, but it is for all eternity. It's not just for a moment, it is eternal as such. It is peacefulness, fearlessness, fortitude. It is security, not just now, but for all times. As a young person, I struggled with commitment to Christ. I grew up in the days of Harold Peasley. Many of you would know if you're older in the life of the church, and Errol Weston, great evangelist in our denomination. And as a kid, I went up to every altar call that they had. I raised my hand, I went to the front, and I realized that I was lacking in my life. And I just didn't know what to do and how to respond, but I just knew that God was working in my life. And so I'd go and I'd respond, and every time I commit my life to Christ. I think I've been a Christian 20 times over since then, until I understood that I don't have to recommit my life every time something happens. That my commitment is once and for all time. That it's like putting a ring on your finger and committing to a marriage and a relationship, knowing that He's going to take care of me and knowing that He's going to be with me for all time. It is powerful. And He has all the power accessible. It is perfect as well. It is perfect. You will find rest for your souls. Before I came to faith in Christ, I had no rest. I tried to find my rest in my own way. Alcohol, drugs, all kinds of things that replace Christ and that make you feel temporarily good, and you realize that that temporary high fades away. And there's so many things, as Ronnie addressed in his sermon a couple of weeks ago, just before Easter, that we try and fill our lives with monetary success, a brand new iPhone, a nice new car, all sorts of things. Make us feel good. But it's only temporary. Only temporary. Because it's not made to fill the God-shaped vacuum in each and every one of our hearts. Only God can fill. So friends, if your life is like that, imperfect, you feel alone and you just never know what to do, but you just keep on trying to fill that gap, no, it can only be filled by God. Nothing you can do that can fill it. Hear the words of Psalm 62, verse 5 to 7. Our burdened souls only truly find rest in one place. For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence. My hope is from Him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be shaken. On God rests my salvation and my glory. My mighty rock, my refuge is God alone. Jesus knows that He only is our salvation. He is our only fortress. He is our only hope. And He offers perfect hope, perfect restoration, and complete newness when we trust in Him. But He promises great provision. He says, take my yoke upon you. Now, many of you don't know what a yoke is. If you didn't grow up on the farmlands, or if you haven't visited a farm, you wouldn't know what it is, but it's a wooden piece that goes over some farm animals as such. And as you can see over here, this provides a sense of directionality, and it's something that you put on just to keep things moving in one direction. On holiday, we went to Oatswurren, and we stopped at an ostrich farm. Now, you don't use this with an ostrich, it's not going to work, okay? You ride an ostrich, so it's not for the ostrich. But we rode in the donkey cart to get to the ostriches, and it was amazing to see how these donkeys were working together, moving in one direction, although they struggled to get us back up the hill. That was not my fault. It was the many people on this donkey cart. But this yoke that Jesus offers is one that he shares with us. We're not alone. Be yoked with me. So we walk with him. We work with him in our lives. This is God's great provision. There is no other God, no other religious system that offers this exact same thing, that God himself is with us. Everyone else, God is up there somewhere far away, he's unapproachable, he's wrathful. Not at all. This God is a God who offers something greater. His rich provision for each and every one of us. Hebrews 12 and verse 2 puts it this way: look to Jesus. Focus on him. Examine him, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising its shame, and is seated at the right hand of God the Father. Look at him, look to him. He paid the price for us. I've shared the story before, but I'll do it again, and maybe some of you haven't heard. It's a story of a great pastor I used to work with, Richard Baker, who's an incredible evangelist. In fact, he sounds just like Angus Duckett when he talks. So when Angus talks, I always think of Richard. And Richard was doing an evangelistic outreach in a place called Hammarskraal, but he enjoyed dogs, but he loved collies particularly. And so his collie had died, and he really wanted to replace this dog with a new and bigger breed. And so he read the Farmer's Weekly, and he found this dog that was on sale, and he kind of mapped it out that he would go fetch the dog, bring it home, and then go to an evening crusade that they were having in Hammarskraal at that time. But he was delayed in leaving and was a bit late, and so he realized he was running out of time. He wouldn't be able to come home and bring this border collie home before he went to the crusade. So he drove straight there, and when he arrived, it was dark, but he could hear singing from the tent, and voices outside working on the generator, trying to get things going, putting petrol in, the motor starting, lights going on, cutting out, and all of a sudden, he realized he better take his dog out to go for a wee. I don't want to mess this car up. And so he took the dog out for a wee, and as the dog was doing his business, a car in this township drove past and backfired. And as this thing backfired, this dog jumped 10 feet high and just ran into the darkness. But as this happened, what was happening is the generator started, the music came, and over the speaker they announced, well, Pastor Richard Baker is our special guest over here. Why don't we welcome him? And so he thought in a moment, what should I do? Should I go and pursue my dog, who I've paid for? You know, it's gone somewhere over here. Or what should I do? Should I go preach? And so he preached the gospel that night. But he preached with a heavy heart because he paid for this dog and didn't know where this dog was. And he doesn't even know where to begin looking for this dog. So after he preached, about 10 o'clock at night, he was driving home to Johannesburg. And in this vehicle, it was just myth with God. And eventually he blundered forth and said, God, these people have no idea what it cost me to preach tonight. I preached this dog, I paid 400 rand for this dog, and now it's gone away. I'm going to have to find another dog now. Lord, I'm just annoyed with you. And silence of the vehicle. Again, you'd say, Lord, you don't have any clue what it cost me to preach tonight. They have no clue. And God, in a moment, said to him, Richard, it cost you your dog, which you found in the Farmer's Weekly. Paid 400 rand for. You ransomed him from this place. You're worried about your dog in this darkness of this township, not knowing where to go, not having a home to go to. What about my son, who staggered into the darkness of Gethsemane? You're worried about your dog, not eating your fancy pet food that you bought from the vet, but eating pop and billies and little scraps in the informal settlements. What about my son, who was offered a sponge of vinegar on the cross? Richard, you are worried about your dog being tied to some kind of tree or some fence with a piece of wire or a string, cutting into his skin and hurting him. What about my son, who was nailed to the cross and who suffered intently for you? Yes, Richard, it cost you to preach the gospel to us. But it cost me far more. It cost you a dog, but it cost me my son. You were not able to stop what happened, but I was. Yet, I did not, so that you could proclaim this gospel tonight. See, friends, this gospel that we have is of great worth. Great worth. And his invitation to us is a simple yet profound one. Come to me. It's not come to a religion. It's not come to some symbol. It is coming to a person, and that is the person of Jesus Christ, who didn't just simply give something little for us, but he paid a price for our lives so that we could come to him, and we can be yoked to him, and we can walk with him throughout this life. I wonder this morning, as we close in prayer, will you lay your burdens at his feet? Will you come to him this morning and lay all things aside and say, Jesus, I trust in you alone for this? Do you have that audacious faith to believe the promises of God? Let's pray together. Let's pray. This morning, Lord, we gathered here in your name, and we realize that although the time is gone, we thank you for this privilege of being in this place and worshiping you and hearing your word. Your word, Lord, which sometimes pierces our hearts. What a word this is this morning. Come to me. Come to me. Lord, I'm the first one this morning to acknowledge that I need you, Lord Jesus. I need your power at work within my life. I need your presence in my life. I need your provision in all things. Lord, this morning there are many here who might feel the same. So I want to ask that as we are bound this morning, those who just feel burdened by something, just lift your burdens to God right now in the quietness of your heart. And just say, Lord, I trust you with this. Lay it at his feet. Don't take it back again. Just give it to him and say, Lord, I come to you this morning. In the quietness of your heart this morning, no music in the background, no distractions. Just come to him this morning. Present him with whatever's troubling you, with whatever has brought you down, with whatever it is that you might be facing. But you don't face it alone. Come to him and give it to him. He carries you in his everlasting and eternal arms. Bring it to him this morning. This morning, Lord, we declare our dependency on you and radically surrender to you. Lord, we know that it is through surrendering to you that all things fall into place. So, Lord, may you hear the prayers that have been prayed this morning. And may you answer from heaven, O God. You are our rock, our fortress, ever-present help in time of need. Lord Jesus, won't you give us rest in you today and forevermore? Be with us as we leave this place, God. May we be authentic in our faith. May we share our burdens with one another as you've commanded us to. And in so doing, Lord, may our lives be lived in such a way that glorifies you and honors your name. Provide for us, undertake for us, I pray, in your great name. All God's people say, Amen. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I want to encourage you, just before we go out for tea, if there's anyone who needs special care, please come forward, and some of the leaders of the church will pray for you and share some of what you're facing, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, have a wonderful Sunday. The Lord bless you.